The most dangerous lie is the one you tell yourself, especially when you don't even know you're telling it. It's a quiet poison, a gentle cage, built not of iron bars, but of soft wool and whispered rules, convincing an eagle it was born to crawl. In sun-drenched valleys, nestled between ancient, sleeping mountains, lived a young lion named Flynn. But Flynn did not know he was a lion. Orphaned as a cub, he had been found and adopted by a gentle flock of sheep. They were his family, their world, his only reality. He learned their ways, their language of soft bleats, their diet of sweetgrass, and most importantly, their fears. He learned to tremble at the shadow of a hawk, to huddle together when the wind howled, and to see the world not as a kingdom to be ruled, but as a pasture fraught with peril. His mane, which should have been a crown of gold, was a soft, unkempt tangle, and his burgeoning muscles were used only for meekly following the flock. Deep within him, a strange fire sometimes flickered, a restless energy, a forgotten anthem in his blood that he quickly suppressed. To feel such things was not the way of the sheep. To fit in, to be safe, he had to be one of them. And so, the lion convinced himself he was a lamb. One day, as the flock grazed near the edge of a dense forest, a presence disturbed the peaceful air. A great old lion, with a mane like a silver-streaked sunset and eyes that held the wisdom of 1,000 hunts, emerged from the trees. His name was Rorik, and he was not hunting. He had been watching this strange spectacle for Lion, a creature of fire and thunder, living a life of quiet desperation among sheep. The flock scattered in a wave of white panic, their bleats echoing their terror. Yet Flynn did not run. He froze, just as he had been taught, his body seized by a fear that was not his own, but one he had borrowed from his family. Rorik padded forward, his heavy paws making no sound on the soft earth. He circled the trembling young lion, his gaze not of a predator, but of a puzzled master craftsman examining a flawed yet magnificent creation. Flynn squeezed his eyes shut, expecting the end. Instead, a voice, deep and resonant as a drum, rumbled through the air. "What are you doing here, little brother?" Flynn, in his terror, could only manage a pathetic, squeaking bleat. Rorik's gaze softened. "That is not your voice," he said, his tone firm but not unkind. "You wear the coat of a king, yet you speak the tongue of the herd." Flynn dared to open his eyes. I am one of them," he stammered, the words feeling hollow even to him. Rorik let out a soft chuckle that sounded like stones tumbling down a hillside. "Are you? Look at your paws. They were made to command the earth, not to tread lightly upon it. Look at your shoulders. They were built to carry the weight of a crown, not to huddle in a flock." He took a step closer. "They have taught you their fears, but they could not give you their form. It is time you saw the truth." With a gentle but undeniable insistence, Rorik nudged Flynn, guiding him away from the familiar pasture and towards a place Flynn had always been taught to avoid, a still, crystal-clear pool of water at the heart of the forest. The water was like a flawless mirror, reflecting the deep blue sky and the ancient trees. "Look," Rorik commanded softly. "Do not see what you have been told you are. See what is truly there." Hesitantly, Flynn peered over the edge. He saw a face he barely recognized. The eyes were wide with a sheep's fear, yes, but they were the golden, piercing eyes of a predator. The muzzle was not soft and blunt, but strong and framed by the promise of a magnificent mane. And beside his reflection was Rorik's older, grander, but unmistakably the same blood, the same spirit, the same royal lineage stared back at him from the water's surface. A profound shudder racked his body. The world of bleats and grass and gentle fears shattered into a million pieces. He was not a sheep. He had never been a sheep. He was a lion, a lifetime of suppressed instinct, of buried power, of forgotten identity surged through him like a flash flood. The fire in his soul, so long banked, now roared into an inferno. Rorik watched, a knowing look in his ancient eyes. Now, he rumbled, let the world hear your real voice. Let it hear who you are. Flynn lifted his head to the sky. He took a deep breath, not of the gentle air of the pasture, but of the wild, free air of his birthright. He opened his mouth, and what erupted from his throat was not a bleat, but a sound of pure, unbridled power. It was a roar that shook the leaves from the trees and sent birds scattering into the sky. It was the sound of shackles breaking, of a prison of wool, and whispers being torn asunder. The roar was a declaration, an affirmation, a key turning in the lock of his own soul. It echoed from the mountainsides, a thunderous announcement that a king had finally come home to himself. Like Flynn, you may have been raised in a flock that taught you to be small. You may have been taught to fear your own strength, to quiet your own roar, and to live within the safe, comfortable boundaries set by others. Society, family, maybe even friends, might have handed you a list of weaknesses and limitations and convinced you they were your own. They might have told you to be quiet when you wanted to speak, to be still when you wanted to move, to dream smaller because big dreams are dangerous. But look into the mirror. I mean it. Really, look. Look past the reflection of who you've been told to be. Look past the fear you've borrowed, past the insecurities that were given to you. See the fire in your eyes. See the strength in your bones, the untamed power that is your birthright. Your voice was not made for bleeding in conformity. It was made to roar your truth across the valleys. It is time to stop grazing in the pastures of self-doubt. It is time to shed the sheep's clothing that was never yours to wear. It is time to discover the magnificent lion that has been living inside you all along, and to let your glorious roar shake the very foundations of the world. Remember, your true nature isn't something you create, it's something you uncover. Start today. Thanks for watching.